after all the Niners have said this week about the turf, bringing in the NFL and the NFLPA to investigate MetLife Stadium's turf, they both said it's fine. But Eric Armstead tweeted that it's an issue. Ben Garland said today it's terrible. I mean, the Niners universally say it's bad turf. So they feel that way. How do you then, as a coach, approach your team and say, you know what, guys, put that behind you, play confidently, all gas, no brakes, yada, yada, yada. How do you tell them to play full speed when they're all concerned about the turf? How do you psychologically get them up to play, Jose? Or who's first?
I believe it was Jack.
Jack, sorry.
I can take it. What I would do is I'd find the therapist that Jimmy went to before last week's game, and I'd have him talk to the 49ers team.
True.
So seriously, if you think about this week, that's all they've been talking about. And so he's got a big hurdle that he's got to get over with that. And, just heard John Lynch on the radio, and he's mentioning it as well. So this is a real hurdle for them this week is their mental ability to block that out and go out and play on Sunday.
And Jack, as a coach, doesn't it seem like the psychological aspect is the biggest task in front of Kyle this week?
Yeah, definitely. That's huge.
It's the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, Maverick.
Well, I was listening to a couple of the interviews after the game, and it seemed like Fred Warner was saying a lot that once you're on the field, you don't really think about that because you can't. There's a bunch of guys, and then I think Trent Williams said that when you have a 300-pound guy running at you, you can't really think about the ground. You have to worry about not falling on your butt when he's charging at you. So I think on the field, I don't think it will be as much of an issue. Maybe on the bench, there can be some talking, but that's when Kyle and Robert Saleh just have to get them focused. There's not really a right answer because they haven't played on a lot of grounds where you can possibly tear your ACL at any moment, but it's just something they got to get past. And it's just like, get through this game, let's stay healthy, and then we'll see how they rebound next week.
Yeah.
I think Robert Saleh hit it on the nail perfectly today because it just reminded me of all the way up when I've been told in sports, all the way up until I washed up in college about how you can't worry about what you can't control. It's the field's going to be there again. So either you're going to say I'm out and be weak, or you're just going to go out there. I mean, I know it may be precautionary, but at that point, that's for the coaches to say, hey, you already have an injury designation. We got to pull you out. Everyone else is healthy. Get to the field. You got to play. We got a game to play, man, because we're 1-1, and this NFC West is looking like they're going to go undefeated again this next Sunday. So that's the only thing you got to do. Focus on what you control. You can't – what's the point? And that's just not even in football. That's in life. You can't be worrying about too much about what you can't control. Just worry about what's in front, worry about your assignment, and go play ball, because otherwise the moment they're going to start thinking, then that's when the Giants are really going to end up beating them.
There's something the Niners can control in this equation. Their footwear. Because to me, that's part of the issue here. Whatever they were wearing didn't mix with whatever type of turf this is in New Jersey. And from what I understand, the Jets and Giants don't have this issue like the Niners did. So what I would do, as if I were Kyle Shanahan, is say, look, we talked to the Giants, we talked to the Jets, we understand what kind of footwear they use on this field. We're going to use the same exact stuff. You can feel safer and more confident that we have you prepared. Now, maybe that opens them up to a lawsuit for Solomon Thomas and Nick Bosa that they weren't prepared last week. I don't know, but you got to have some type of answer for that. You got to feel like, look, our equipment staff has done everything we can make sure that this isn't going to happen to you. We can't control the turf, but we can control what's on your feet. I mean, I would have a big shoe conversation. It would just be all about feet.
Well, why didn't you think about that? If that's the case, then why didn't they raise that question? You think they didn't know about that nerd turf field, and you didn't? And the fact that if you didn't know, then wow, that's pretty bad. That there's a lack of preparation, and understanding to not even consider that. Hey, we should probably pack some extra cleats, or maybe even change the studs at some point and make them longer. I mean, that just sounds a little weird.
I would think shorter. To me, it seemed like their cleats were getting caught in the turf, that they were too long. I don't know. I wasn't in New Jersey, but I played sports. I know my high school had a composite turf field. You need the smallest spikes possible, or else your feet are getting caught. You're going to your ankle, or you hurt your knee. So I don't know.
What kind of grass?
They need to have an answer for that. Better to have tennis shoes than long spikes. Yeah.
What kind of grass is that in West Virginia?
I don't know. I'm not at the Greenbrier. I would imagine it's turf. It better be turf.
We got healing waters, though.